Welcome back to Notre Dame Day and our tribute this hour to the legacy of Father Ted. I am Jack Nolan, and we are joined now by a former Notre Dame All-American, the captain of the 1966 National Championship football team, an 11-year NFL veteran who was a Pro Bowler at his linebacker position. He owns a Super Bowl ring and is enshrined in the College Football Hall of Fame. How is that for an introduction? Joining us now from Phoenix, Arizona on the Notre Dame Day hotline is none other than Jim Lynch. Jim, how are you?
Jack, I am doing absolutely great. Thank you very much. And the weather here is terrific. I don't know what it's like in South Bend.
It's actually terrific here as well as we come out of our very long winter. Now, I know you live in Kansas City where you starred for the Chiefs. So what are you doing in Phoenix?
Well, you know, Georgia and I, we wanted to get a house away in a warm weather climate. And when you're in Kansas City, you kind of go southwest. You don't go southeast. And Phoenix is just one stop away, so that's where we started. We've had a place out here for about 15 years now.
Well, we have a photo of you and your beautiful wife, Georgia, on our screen right now, and it looks like life is really treating both of you well. All right,
well,
I want to take you back now to the spring of 1967. You're coming off a national championship, a team you captained. You received the Maxwell Award as the nation's top football player. You are the proverbial big man on campus, and then this happens. Word gets out that Notre Dame is considering making the cheerleaders co-ed for the first time in school history for the 1967 football season. You take the story from there.
Well, you got to go back into the time that it happened, and that was, like you said, in the spring of '67. We were seniors. We had pretty much wrapped up all the worries about graduating, and we knew we were going to be graduating. So what I'm getting at is probably a little bit of senioritis. And at the time, the Observer came out with an article that got everybody, it hit everybody the wrong way, and it said that there were going to be female cheerleaders next year. And we said, well, now, wait a minute, has anybody talked about this? Has anybody said anything about this? So in any event, because we didn't have anything better to do, we started getting a referendum up, and we had a vote on it, and it was voted down by the student body. So that's about all I can say about it. I think that, you know, that one of the things that got attributed to the campaign we had was Better Dead Than Co-Ed, and I'm supposed to be the author of that. I really wasn't, but, you know, it is pretty catchy. It's still pretty catchy.
Well, it's become a Notre Dame legend, and you have just debunked it a bit, so we'll call it a Notre Dame myth. But let's go ahead now a number of years, and you have 3 children, all but 2 of them boys. So in other words, you had 2 girls. And where did those daughters happen to graduate from?
Georgia, my wife, says that is absolute proof that God is a woman. There's no question about it, because my 2 daughters both went to the University of Notre Dame. Both of them graduated with honors. They did very, very well academically, better than their old man did. And they both just are wonderful, wonderful women today. As a matter of fact, I just had a chance to be with them for about an hour today. So.
And I know that a few years ago, Notre Dame celebrated the 40th anniversary of coeducation at Notre Dame, and you were invited to be the keynote speaker, and you began that speech with what is also now a classic line in Notre Dame lore. Do you remember what you said?
I think I started out by saying, "Bless me, Father, for I have sinned."
Yes.
I said, from a boneheaded thought process going way back, and I do remember starting out by saying that, and also saying, you know, I love women, and my favorite color is pink, and, you know, I kind of ate a lot of crow there, and it deservedly so, you know. I mean, if you start thinking about a 21-year-old kid who's got nothing better to do than bitch about some women coming on campus, I think that some crow needs to be eaten, and I've definitely done it over the years.
Well, you've always had unbelievable class, and this was an appropriate storyline in an hour honoring Father Ted, who broke the coeducational barrier here at Notre Dame. But I know this fall you get back a lot. We'll be talking football then. Thanks for the time, Jim.
Jack, thank you for being with me. And I would like to just make one comment, and that is, when I was on campus, it was such a fantastic time. And when you start thinking about Father Ted and Father Ned and Ara Parsegian, people like that are absolute giants then and giants now. So I was very, very fortunate not only to go to Notre Dame, but to go to Notre Dame when I did.
And Notre Dame was fortunate to have you, Jim. Thank you very, very much.